What up, you guys? It has been a minute since I last filmed a YouTube video, and I just decided to whip out the camera tonight and film for you guys because I really enjoy doing it, and it's been forever. So tonight I am going to be filming the baby names I love but will not be using. I watched so many of these when I was trying to find a name for Owynn, and like I can't even count how many names that we went through and how many times we just like completely scratched off every name on our list and rewrote brand new lists. It was ridiculous, and these videos were extremely helpful, so I don't know, I just thought it'd be really fun to do it. So I have a drink tonight. It is the Crispin Rosé hard cider. I'm not a fan, but I got a 6-pack of it and I need to drink them up, so that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm not going to put these in any particular order. I'm probably going to go back and forth between boy and girl names and just kind of explain the meaning of them and why I like it, but we're not using it. So let's just get right into it. The first name on my list is for a boy, and it is the name Dawson. It is of a Welsh descent, and it means son of David. I got this name from, obviously, Dawson's Creek. It is one of my all-time favorite shows, and you don't hear that name like ever anymore. You're starting to hear it more these days, but when I very first got pregnant, I just was not hearing that name around, and I absolutely loved it. So I pitched it to my husband, and he didn't like it. He didn't. Actually, I take that back. I kept bringing this name up, and over time, Corey slowly started to take it into consideration. And as we were getting closer to our gender reveal date where we wanted to announce the name, I started to get cold feet about the name. I don't know. I think because my gut instinct was telling me it was a girl, I couldn't set my mind on having a Dawson. I really couldn't set my mind on any specific boy name for the longest time. So yeah, it was just kind of a back and forth between both of us, whether we loved it or we didn't, and more than likely, we're not going to use it in the future, but I really, really do like that name. For a girl, I really love the name Presley. This was a contender on my list, but my husband didn't like it, so for that purpose, we just didn't go with it. My next name for a boy is the name Grady. It is of a Gaelic descent, and it means noble. When I had my very first job working in a daycare when I was 16 years old, there was a little boy in my classroom. His name was Grady, and he was the cutest little baby. He kind of looked like a turtle, but he was just so adorable, and that name has stuck with me ever since. It was like my top boy name for the longest time, but Corey shot me down, so it's not going to be used anytime in the future. My next name for a girl is Scarlett. I absolutely love this name. It obviously is a vivid red hue, but it also means brilliant, and I just thought it was kind of this old-timely, really feminine name, and I just absolutely loved it. It is getting more common these days, but that didn't really matter to me in this instance. However, Corey just didn't really like it that much, so it went right off the list. The next name I have for a boy is Lennox. It is also of a Gaelic descent, and it means with many elm trees. I, again, had a little boy in one of my classrooms in a daycare that I worked at, and his name was Lennox, and he was so, so cute, and his family was just so wonderful. You know, when you're trying to think of baby names, if you've gone through this before, or just even if you're not pregnant or like not gonna have kids in the future, you always say like, oh, you know someone of a certain name that you didn't like, so you will not ever use that name because you'll just keep remembering that person. This is kind of how I look at the name Lennox. I just absolutely love his family. I thought he was an adorable little boy, and that name kind of stuck with me, and I had never heard of another Lennox before. But I think it was a little too different for my husband, so it's not a contender. My next name for a girl is Maisie. It is Persian, and it means child of light. I love this name. I really didn't hear it much when I first thought of it. If you can't tell by now, I like names that are a little bit more unique, But Maisie, at the time, I didn't really hear of it. I actually remember the little cartoon from when I was a kid called Maisie. It was that little mouse. And I always thought it was a really cute name. And then I saw Lennon and Maisie on like a YouTube video or something, and I just thought, oh yeah, just kind of reiterated how much I love the name for a girl. But my husband didn't really like it, and we also, or I also have a friend from high school who did end up naming her daughter Maisie. She had her daughter a few years ago, so I knew at that time that I probably was not going to be using that name for a girl. My next name for a boy is Asher, and it means son of Jacob. It is a biblical name, and that wasn't something that was really important to me, but it is kind of a little bit of a bonus. Again, my husband didn't really like it, so just not going to be used. My next name for a girl is Nora, and it is either Greek for light, or in Latin it means honor. This was Owynn's name originally. We were totally set on it for weeks after we decided. I wasn't 100% because it was starting to get more common. I really did not want a name that was common, but it was just a really beautiful, simple, feminine name, and Corey really liked it, and we just kept going back to it. So up until just a couple of weeks before our gender reveal, we then discovered Owynn, but Nora was originally Owynn's name, and for that purpose, I feel like if I ever had another girl, I can't give her the identity that I originally thought Owynn was gonna have. I just can't see myself doing that, so I really don't think that we will use it for a girl in the future, but I really just do love how simple and beautiful that name is. The next name on my list of boys is Ellis, and it means light of God. When I think of the name Ellis, I just imagine my son being older, being a grown adult, and it just being a simple, professional, successful name. I don't really know why I associate that name with success, but I do. I just think it's a great, strong name for a grown adult. But Corey wasn't sold on it. You're going to see that trend here. A lot of names that I really loved, but Corey was way more picky than I was. So most of these names were thrown out the window because of him. But I really do love the name Ellis. But if Corey doesn't like it, then we obviously are not going to use it. My next name on my list of girls is Violet, and it is a flower. I think it is just a beautiful, timely old name. I don't know. When I think of Violet, I just think of like the cutest little sweetest old lady with such a life and a story to tell. And I don't know. I really am drawn to older names as well, names that you don't see a ton anymore. Violet is a little bit more common because the older names are kind of starting to make a comeback, but it is a really beautiful name. My next name for a boy is Beau. It is French, and it means handsome. I absolutely love, love, love this name. However, since I was a kid, my younger cousin claimed this name for her boy, and I don't know if she still remembers that, but that has always stuck with me, so I will never use it for myself. It is just unacceptable to just like steal a name from someone knowing that that is a name that they have claimed. And if it's a friend or a distant friend or whatever, an acquaintance, whatever, but this is family, and she claimed that name, and it is all hers. My next name for a girl is Juliet. It is French for youthful, and I love the name because of Shakespeare. I love Romeo and Juliet. It is just a beautiful, beautiful name. It's a beautiful story, and yeah, that's all there really is to it. Corey wasn't not sold on this name, but we did just have top contenders, and for that purpose, we still have top contenders for future girls, and Juliet isn't way up there on the list, so we're probably not going to be using it. The next name on my list of boys is Sutton. It is English, and it means from the South Farm, I believe, but Corey just wasn't sold on it again. I think it's a really nice name for a grown adult, and I think it's really cute for a little boy as well, and it's also used for girls, I believe, and I love names that are more gender neutral, or not even really meant to be gender neutral, but they've been turned into a gender neutral name. And obviously That's what we did for Owynn, but I think Sutton is just such a cute name. I would have considered it for a boy or a girl, but Corey just wasn't sold on it. Sorry guys, Owynn woke up and I had to go put her back to bed, and then my camera died. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you have names that you love but won't be using. I am sure Corey and I will need all the suggestions we can get. I'm more than certain that we will be going through the ringer again, trying to come up with names for our next kiddos. Even though we have some top contenders, we change our minds all the time. So yeah, comment down below if you have any suggestions, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.